I call this the toothpick challenge. One day, go out with a toothpick and put your timer for 30 minutes and start walking up to strangers and ask them, what will you give me in exchange for this toothpick? And maybe someone will be like, I don't know, here's a piece of gum. Then you give them the toothpick, you take the piece of gum. You take the piece of gum to the next person, what will you give me for this piece of gum? Oh, here's a tissue. Great. What will you give me for this tissue? And you keep trading up for 30 minutes. And at the end of the 30 minutes, see what you got. When I have my clients do this, the results at the end are insane. I've done it at live events where people walked in with a full pizza from a toothpick. Now think about it. From a toothpick negative value to a pizza in 30 minutes, what could you do starting with who you are and where you are in life and what you have in life? Opportunities are endless. The only thing holding us back is blind spots, because we're afraid, and our own limitations. And that's all stuff you can let go of.
You just notice what he did there. He ended the story with a pizza. I mean, he made it sound very sweet for his audience to listen to. But in reality, in exchange of toothpick, you may end up with nothing. I mean, I agree with him on one point that life is all about taking chances. I mean, the success is all about taking chances. You need to go out. You need to take chance. You need to, take risk. But there is a huge possibility at the same time that in exchange of that toothpick, you may end up with nothing in your hand. He just, kind of made it sounded very sweet and successful in the end so that he can make his audience feel motivated and feel good. But the reality, the real world, the real life does not work on words, does not work on stories. In a story, in exchange of a toothpick, you may end up with a pizza in 30 minutes. But in reality, you may not end up with anything in return of a toothpick. There is a huge possibility that if you go out with a toothpick and start exchanging it with people, in 30 minutes, you will be left with nothing, not even with that toothpick. And I also don't want to sound negative here. I don't want to say that you may end up with something better. There's a huge possibility of that as well. But what, I'm trying to explain to you, I'm trying to make it very clear to you that the life does not work on these YouTube videos. Life does not work on real videos. These people are orators. You can call them motivational speakers. You may call them gurus or whatever you want to call them. So they just make their stories sound very sweet and, very motivational, very motivating so that they can make their audience feel motivated and feel good at the same time. But the reality does not work on stories. This is what I want to make it clear to you in the video. Whenever you listen to these stories on internet or maybe somewhere else, always keep the fact, the reality in your mind that your effort will not always be successful. Your effort may fail, and there is a huge possibility that whatever you are trying to do in your life, whatever you're trying to build in your life, you may end up with nothing at the end of all your efforts. So I want you, my people who follow me, who listen to me, to be aware about this reality of this world. I want you to live, I want you to not live in fantasies. I want you to not live in internet world. I want you to live in reality. I want you to be aware of the reality. When you go out, you will take chance. And of course, it is inevitable. Taking chances is inevitable. Life is all about taking chances. You'll have to go out. You'll have to take risks. You'll have to take chances. But all of your efforts, all of your chances will not always end up in success. There is a huge possibility. There are, so much of chances that your effort may end up with failure. Your effort may end up with nothing. So whenever you are going out with some dreams and imagination in your brain and trying to build something, be mentally prepared for it. There is a saying in English, there is a saying, have your feet on the ground whenever you are dreaming about the sky. Always keep your feet on the ground. And there is one more saying. The saying is ki, what is the saying? Prepare for the worst, like prepare for the best and be ready for the worst. That is, I would say, one of the most realistic quote, I would say. Dream about the sky, put your efforts with the sky in your brain. But be ready for failure also. Be ready for worst also. Don't get influenced by these sweet stories that all these orators are telling you on YouTube. Life is tough. Going out and struggling to build something and making your life better than where you are presently is tough, is complicated, and it's all about taking chances. I agree on that. But all your efforts will not always lead you to success. Many of your efforts, there is a huge possibility, there are so many chances that many of your efforts will fail, will lead you to a place where you will end up with nothing in your hand. I want you to be aware about this reality all the time. Whenever you are going out, be positive, be motivated, give your best, put your 100% in it, but be mentally prepared for the worst also, and be prepared if in case you get failed in your venture, because failure is part of the world. Failure is an unignorable part of human life. So don't always think that if you will go, I mean, it's very childish to think like this, that, okay, you have a plan on your notebook. Now you will go and start working on your plan and things will go as you are planning. Things will go as exactly as you have written in your notebook, or as you have read from some book, or as you have heard from some orator or so-called influencer or speaker. Life does not work on the words and the stories. Have your plan, dream about the better things in your life, and start going out and taking your chances. It's okay. There's no other way to do it in your life. This is the only way. But I want you to be aware about this reality, this fact of the world, that your effort may get failed. It will, the toothpick that you have taken in your hand and you have begun exchanging it with people, in next 30 minutes, you may end up with pizza. You may end up with a toothpick in your hand, and you may end up with nothing. It is also a reality. There is a huge chances of it also. Just because some speaker has told you something on YouTube or maybe on internet, or maybe because you have read somewhere something in book, don't think it is exactly how it is going to happen when you will go out with a toothpick in your hand and begin exchanging it with people outside for next 30 minutes. You may end up with pizza. You may end up with the same toothpick in your hand, and you may also end up with nothing. I mean, there are also chances and possibilities that in next 30 minutes, when you will come back home, you may find yourself with nothing. Even that toothpick is gone. Even that toothpick is gone, and you will end up with nothing in your hand in the next 30 minutes. So this is also, there are also chances and possibility of this also, and you must have this thing in your brain whenever you are going out and trying to build something for yourself. Don't get influenced by whatever all these orators and whatever you are reading in books. Of course, they have a role to play. I have told you many times that motivation somewhere pumps you up, and it gives you, some sort of courage from inside to go out and actually start putting effort. Because without putting effort, nothing is going to happen. You need to go out and put effort. This is also the reality. This is also a reality at the same time. But at the same time, your efforts may lead you to success, and your effort may lead you to failure as well.